Hi, everybody. Welcome again to Analytical English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
And welcome to October. This is the three of us, our first lesson for this month. And we always do a vocabulary and phrase test first. We have 10 close-style sentences for you. There's a blank in each one. That's what the close means. And there are 4 choices. You choose the best answer. For example, number 1, in order to run a blank business, you should be devoted to your job first and foremost. The choices you have: A, tragic; B, routine; C, voluntary; D, prosperous. To run a business means to manage a business. You probably own it or you're a manager of it, so you want to be successful. That's why you should devote yourself to your job. First and foremost means all the time, and that's what you think of first. You try very hard to be successful. And if you try very hard at something, if it's a business, if you're successful, you'll probably have a prosperous result. That means that you can earn money. So you have a successful or prosperous business. A tragic business is nothing you would devote yourself to. A routine business would be good if you make it prosperous to begin with. But routine can also mean boring. A voluntary business? I'm not sure what that is, so I would choose D, prosperous. In order to run a prosperous business, you should be devoted to your job first and foremost.
题目说呢，如果你要经营 run 是一个经营的意思，你要经营一个，我们选的答案是 prosperous 就兴旺的繁荣的一个事业或者生意的话呢，那你一定要 devote be devoted to your job， 你要专心你要这个全心全意的放在你的工作上面。 first and foremost 就是最重要的最首要的就是要全心投入的意思所以正确答案是 prosperous。那我们看其他选项 A, tragic 是悲剧或悲剧性的没有人会想要经营一个悲剧性的生意那 routine 是例行的，那有可能是例行的，但是例行的话你就不需要说每天想的就是最重要就是要想你的生意，要投入生意既然是例行的，大概不需要花多少功夫，所以这个答案不好。第三个答案自愿的你要经营一个自愿的生意什么叫自愿的生意不清楚，所以我们最后正确答案我们选的是 prosperous。Number
2, foreign blank are given diplomatic immunity. Therefore, local laws don't apply to them. What is diplomatic immunity? It means that since you are technically from another country and you're a guest in this country, we're going to say probably you won't be familiar with our laws, so it's okay, you don't have to follow them. And this is just a courtesy given to foreign blanks. Now, what is the blank here? Is it A, ambassadors, B, privileges, C, investments, or D, restrictions? Well, it's people who are given diplomatic immunity, and the only word that refers to people here is A, ambassadors, so choose that. Foreign ambassadors are given diplomatic immunity. Therefore, local laws don't apply to them.
好，我们看到这个地方有一个很棒的片语，大家可以学一下to be given diplomatic immunity 就是被给予外交豁免权所以外国的什么东西或什么样的一个空格，什么样的一个名词会被给予外交豁免权呢？那当然最好的答案就是 A, ambassadors 大使外国的大使他们都是有外交豁免权的所以呢 local laws 就是当地的法律呢 don't apply to them 不适用于他们。好，那我们看到其他选项 B, privileges 是特权，外国的特权被赋予外交豁免权特权跟外交豁免权这个特权就是一种外交豁免权就是一种特权的，所以不会说特权被给予外交豁免权。好，那 investments 就是投资这个 foreign investments 是常见的一个 collocation， 但它是指外资外来的投资，所以它也没有外交豁免权的。那第四个答案 restrictions 是约束或者限制，外国的约束被给予外交豁免权，这不知道什么意思所以这答案也不对。那我们选的是 ambassadors 大使。
Number 3, I usually buy fast food for lunch because the lunch break at our company is blank to only 30 minutes. Let's see. A, abandoned. B, limited. C, relieved. or D, guaranteed? Well, 30 minutes is not very long for lunch or for a lunch break at a company, so that seems to be quite short. We would say even limited. B looks very good. You cannot be abandoned to only 30 minutes or relieved to only 30 minutes or guaranteed to only 30 minutes. But in time, if your time is being controlled or shortened, then we use the verb to limit. I usually buy fast food for lunch because the lunch break at our company is limited to only 30 minutes.
好，所以这题目看到我们说它这个，我通常呢买这个素食啊 ，fast food 素食啊，那 for lunch 用来当午餐，也就是我午餐通常是吃素食啊。那因为呢 ，the lunch break 就是午间的休息时间，午餐时间呢 ，at our company 我们公司的午休时间呢 is limited to 这是正确的答案啊。我们常常讲说 to be limited to 就是限于。所以我们公司的午餐时间仅限于30分钟之内，所以时间很短，赶快买个这个 fast food， 赶快就吃了。所以正确答案是 limited。那 A 这个选项 abandoned 它是抛弃或者丢弃的意思。你说这个我们公司的午餐时间被丢弃到这根本讲不通啊。那文法也不对。那 relieved 是减轻或者是缓和你可以 relieve the tension, relieve the symptoms 你可以减轻那个压力啊，减轻症状啊等等的，但是你不会说我们的午餐时间被减轻到这个只有30分钟，这个也不对。那第四个答案 guaranteed 是保证所以保证30分钟这也很奇怪，而且不会说 guaranteed to 30 minutes 没有这种说法，所以这个也不对，我们选 limited。
Number 4. My grandmother didn't know that she didn't need a passport to travel on a blank flight. Well, what kind of flight do you not need a passport for? That would be a flight within your own country. So, is a flight within your own country that meaning? Is it A, sarcastic, B, competitive, C, domestic, or D, persuasive? Well, sarcastic means you say something with the opposite meaning of what's the real meaning, and you do it to make a funny point. Competitive is when you compete with other people. Domestic could be within your house, but it can also mean within your country. So this is our answer. And persuasive just means that you have the ability to make people believe a thing. So choose C, domestic. My grandmother didn't know that she didn't need a passport to travel on a domestic flight.
我的 grandmother 她并不知道，她不需要护照如果说要 travel on 什么样的，你搭什么样的飞机，什么样的 flight 不需要护照呢？那我们看看答案。正确答案是 domestic 是国内的或者家庭的，也就是说搭国内班机是不需要护照的。所以这一句题目的意思就是我的 grandmother 她不知道说她搭国内班机不需要护照所以正确答案是 domestic。那其他选项我们看一下 A sarcastic 是讽刺的挖苦的那跟这个 flight 班机搭不在一起。competitive 是竞争的你跟班机通常也这个不会放在一起用而且什么叫竞争的班机，这很怪。那第四个选项 persuasive它是有说服力的有说服力的班机班机不需要说服你所以这个答案也不对。不过这个 persuasive 这个字大家可以注意一下这个 persuasive 那个 sway 是 urge 或者是 advice 的意思，就劝说的意思。那 pers thoroughly completely 完全劝说就是叫你去做某件事情。那另外一个字大家可以一起背dissuade persuade dissuade 一起背dissuade dis 是否定字头，所以 dissuade 是劝人家不要， persuade 是要劝到底，是劝你要去，那 dissuade 是劝你不要把它一起背。
Next is number 5. The doctor developed a new blank to treat the illness and saved hundreds of people's lives. A, advantage. B, technique. C, campaign. D, imitation. So we have some kind of disease or illness, and a doctor has created, or developed something new, and that has saved hundreds of people's lives. Well, what would a doctor develop? To develop an advantage? Odd. To develop a campaign, we probably wouldn't use develop. Maybe he organized a campaign to raise money to help a lot of people, but that doesn't work here. How do you develop an imitation? So, of course, I've skipped B, technique, because that is the best answer. A technique is a professional way to do something or a specialized way to do something. And if a doctor develops a technique, it is to make people more healthy. So it fits beautifully. Choose B. The doctor developed a new technique to treat the illness and saved hundreds of people's lives.
好，所以我们看到这个题目，他说这个医生呢，他发展了一个新的什么东西来 treat the illness， 就是治疗这个疾病。然后呢，他 saved， 他拯救了 hundreds of people's lives， 他拯救了数百人的生命。所以他发展了什么东西来治病呢？ A advantage 是优点啊，发展了一个优点来治病啊，优点缺点不能治病的啊，所以不对。那第二个选项 technique， 这是正确答案，因为它是技术的意思啊，它发展了一个新的技术来治疗这个疾病，所以这是正确答案。那 C campaign 是竞选活动，你不会 develop 一个竞选活动来治病啊，很怪。那 D imitation 是模仿啊，或者是一个仿制品啊，但你发展一个仿制品来治病啊，这个也根本讲不通，不知道什么意思，所以答案是 technique， 它发展了一个新的技术来 treat the illness。Number
6. The soldiers were forced to blank from the front line because they knew they couldn't win the battle. The front line is the very front edge of a battle, assuming that two armies are meeting each other head on. So the front line is where the main fighting is. So if you're forced to blank from the front line, probably because you're forced to, it means that it's something bad. So let's check our choices. A, confess. Confessing things is often bad, but confessing is telling somebody about something, and that's not what's happening in a battle. B, retreat. Well, retreat means to go back from, and that is probably what's happening here because you can't go forward because people are shooting at you, or it's very costly to go forward, but it's easier to retreat or go back. And if you're forced to do something, it means you're doing something you don't want to, which is go back, because the whole point of fighting is to go forward. So retreat is our answer. C, interfere. To interfere with something means to mess it up. And you can't interfere from something anyway, so it doesn't even work. You couldn't even interfere with the front line because the front line is about people interfering with each other. Do you know it's a battle? So you couldn't mess it up even more. And D, explode. If you explode something, you blow it up, and you're not going to blow up something from something. That's weird. So choose B. The soldiers were forced to retreat from the front line because they knew they couldn't win the battle.
好 be forced to 就是被迫，所以这些军队呢被迫怎么样？好，这个 from the front line， 好 front line 就是前线，所以他们被迫怎么样？从前线怎么样 ？from 是从啊，那为什么呢？因为他们知道 they couldn't， 他们没有办法 win the battle， 没有办法打赢这一仗啊，所以他们就从前线怎么样了呢？我想大家想到大概就是撤退吧。那我们看到B 这个选项 retreat 就是撤退的意思，所以这是正确的答案。好 we're forced to retreat from the front line 啊。那 A confess 啊，他们被迫要 confess 好 from the front line 啊，从前线承认一下，坦白一下 confess 是承认或坦白，所以很怪，这个不对啊。那 interfere 后面通常是接 with 或者 in 啊，那它是干涉的意思啊。例如你可以说啊 the rain interfered with our plans to go on a picnic 啊，所以 interfere 放在这里意思不对啊，你不会 interfere with the front line， 而且它这也是用 from， 所以不对。那 explode 是爆炸啊，他们被迫从前线爆炸啊，这个中文讲不通，英文也讲不通，所以不对，我们选 B retreat。Number
7. Lengthy blank of children from their parents could lead to some psychological problems later in life. Lengthy what? A. Efficiency. B. Resistance. C. Separation. Or D. Admission. So lengthy means a long time. That's what we're talking about here because it's later in life. So lengthy refers to time, a long time. Children from their parents. From means away. So we are dividing them or, separating them. That looks like a very good choice right from the beginning. But let's look at the others too. A, efficiency. Efficiency of children. is an oxymoron. Children are never efficient. They are maddening and cute.
And lovely.
But they are not efficient.
That is the only thing they are not.
Speaking from experience. B, lengthy resistance of... When we use resistance, we have to add to, not from. And while I'm at it, D, admission is the same. You are admitted to, or the admission to a university and so on, never from, whereas separation means to divide, to split. So choose C. Lengthy separation of children from their parents could lead to some psychological problems later in life.
Lengthy 是冗长的或者是长时间的，那我们要选的答案是 separation 是分隔的意思，长时间的分隔。这个 separation 这个 se 就是 apart 的意思，这个字首所以呢，长期的分隔 of children 小孩分隔，跟谁分隔呢？跟谁分开呢 ？From their parents， 小孩跟父母亲长期的分隔could lead to 就是表示有可能会导致一些什么呢 ？psychological problems 一些心理的问题。Later in life 就是这个长大之后，基本上就是小孩长大之后，可能就会有一些心理上的问题，或者根本等不到长大。一段时间之后就有心理问题了。好，所以答案选 separation。那其他选项 A efficiency 是效率，所以效率在接 children 这个通常不会放在一起用，而且意思也讲不通。Resistance of children， 但是 resistance 不会接 from 而且这个你说小孩子持续的这个主要在这里是文法的问题resistance 不会后面再加一个 from。那 D admission 是许可或者是入场，那许可。admission 这个字常常后面接的是 to 所以在这里也不是 from 所以这个答案意义用法都不对，不要选，我们选 separation separation of children from their parents.
Number 8. Since Tracy is a freelancer, her work schedule is very blank. Therefore, we can meet her any day next week. Now, some people would say that blank is clear, but that's not true. If you're a freelancer, you know that your schedule is supposedly flexible, but once it's fixed, it's fixed. You're just as busy as anyone else, okay?
Well, you just gave out the answer.
No, I didn't. Because it's not that it's very full. It's not that it's very empty or full or something else. It's that it's a prominent. Prominent means very visible. That's weird. Is it B, flexible, meaning that it is possible to move things around? This is true up to a point for freelancers. Let's see if there's a better answer. C, defensive. Freelancers are often defensive about how they appropriate their work time. D, tropical. Tropical means it's in the very warm part of the world, and that would be great if you were a freelancer in the very warm part of the world. You can sweat while you do all your busy work, while you're being so busy. The choice here is, I'm getting a little complicated. The choice here is flexible. Most people think freelancers' schedules are very flexible, and so that's our answer. Since Tracy is a freelancer, her work schedule is very flexible. Therefore, we can meet her any day next week. Choose B.
OK， 好，那 since 是因为 Tracy 他是一个 freelancer 就是一个自由接案子的人，所以他的 work schedule 他的工作的这个日程表呢 is very 怎么样呢？答案是 flexible 很具有弹性所以这个虽然说是自由接案，可是他案子一旦接了其实他的这个弹性就慢慢就没有了。但是基本上他的工作时间是有弹性的就是某件事情他不一定什么时候一定要做。Therefore, we can meet her 我们可以跟他碰面。Any day next week 所以下个礼拜任何一天我们都可以跟他碰面，所以正确答案是 flexible。那 A 这个选项 prominent 是显著的所以因为他是自由接案，所以他的工作时程非常的显著，这很怪。Defensive 是防御的所以他的工作时程表非常的防御这个也不知道什么意思，讲不通。Tropical 是热带的其实我觉得 a tropical work schedule sounds nice 一个在热带的一个 work schedule 可能是每天不用做事情，在海边喝酒吧。
Until you realize that it involves lots and lots of sweating.
That's true.
And no beaches. And no alcohol.
Okay.
Just work while sweating.
好吧所以这个 tropical 这个 work schedule may not be that nice after all.
Yes.
OK 好，所以他说所以呢这个tropical 这个答案也不对所以我们要选的是 flexible.
Number 9.Matt Blank needs a transplant surgery because his heart is not going to hold out for much longer. So this guy needs a transplant surgery. There will be usually an organ from one person that is put into another person's body so that that second person can live a better life. His heart is not going to hold out for much longer. Hold out means to last. And a heart is often an object of transplant surgery. If your heart is very, very weak, Matt's heart is very weak. He needs a new heart because his own heart now is just not going to last long. So, how would we modify needs? Would we say A, urgently needs, B, annually needs, C, truthfully needs, or D, sensitively needs? I would choose A. Urgently means that we have a serious problem and we need to do something very quickly. That fits perfectly. I wouldn't choose annually, or poor Matt, he needs a new heart every year. Truthfully needs, well, we don't kid around. We don't lie about transplant surgery. Sensitively needs, we don't use that collocation, but certainly urgently. So choose A. Matt urgently needs a transplant surgery because his heart is not going to hold out for much longer.
好，所以我们看到题目，他说 Matt 怎么样呢 ？Urgently 很急切的 needs 需要一个这个 transplant surgery， 就是一个移植的手术他很急需一个移植的手术，所以这只有正确答案 urgently， 因为他常常搭配 needs。那为什么他需要这个很急着需要一个移植手术呢？因为 his heart 他的心呢 is not going to， 他的心大概没有办法 hold out， 在这里是支撑的意思。他的心大概没有办法再支撑 for much longer， 也就是他的心大概没有办法再撑多久了他心脏有问题，所以正确答案是 urgently。那 be annually 他每一年都需要一个移植手术，因为 annually 是每年的所以放进去文法上好像讲得通，但是其实不太可能那每年都要去这个移植手术的话，他在身体也吃不消，而且这个经济上大概也吃不消所以这个答案不对。
Also, nobody can get that many hearts. There's very few hearts hanging out in the world.
的确没有那么多心给他每年换一个心所以这个也不对。那 truthfully 是诚实的他诚实的需要一个移植手术，他不是骗你，他是真的要所以这个也很奇怪因为这个答案说没有人会到处骗人家说我需要移植心脏吧那第一 sensitively 是敏感的，他敏感的需要，这个也很怪所以最好的答案是 urgently 急需一个移植手术，因为他的心撑不了多久了。
Number 10. The president threatened to blank the transportation officials if the freeway flooded again. Well, a freeway flooding is very bad news, and so the president threatened to do what? To the transportation officials. Nothing good. Let's see what our choices are. Deposit. Deposit them somewhere.
In the flood.
Deposit them in a flood. That would be a credible threat, but that's not a good answer. Enlarge. I'm going to make you larger. Invade. I'm going to invade you. It doesn't work either. Invade is more for countries. Dismiss. Ooh, there's an actual credible threat. If I threaten to dismiss you, I'm threatening you with losing your job, your income, and your self-esteem. So yeah, D is a credible threat. The president threatened to dismiss the transportation officials if the freeway flooded again.
好，所以这个总统呢威胁要怎么样？最好的答案是 dismiss 开除，要开除这个交通部的官员那如果说这个高速公路 flooded again 再一次淹水的话，就要开除交通部的官员所以 dismiss 是我们的正确答案。那其他选项我们看一下 deposit 它本来是存钱的意思它也可以是存放的意思所以刚刚这个 Bruce 老师开玩笑说把这个官员存到那个淹水的淹水的高速公路上也不错不过这个答案当然那个是很特殊的一种用法，所以这个答案不如我们的 dismiss 好。那基本上 deposit 是存钱的意思你可以 deposit money into your bank account。那 be enlarge 是扩大的意思 ，large 是大 ，in 就是把它变成动词，把它扩大那英文常常讲的 enlarge our vocabulary 就是增大我们的这个智慧量。那 invade 它是侵略的意思这个字也很好玩，这个 invade 是 go 的意思，所以 invade 就走进去侵略人家的国家那在这里呢，你不可能侵略一个官员，所以这个也不对正确答案是 dismiss。
Right, so that's it for today's vocabulary and phrase test, and therefore for today's lesson. Don't fear, we'll be back.
We definitely will be back. Is that a threat or a promise? Both.
Stay tuned and find out.
Stay tuned.
And that's it for today. Until the next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.